Hey, everybody. It's great to be back with you after the weekend, which honestly, I know it's only been 72 hours, but it has felt like 72 years, which I am happy to remind you is still a lot younger than Donald Trump is. So let's dive in. We've got some great clips. Well, I don't know if you can call any clip that features JD Vance great, but it's interesting, as well as some feedback from Black women and white women voters. You'll be shocked to learn that the responses to these two groups, at least the two groups in these clips, were quite different. And we wrap it up with Pete Buttigieg working his magic on Fox News, with one exception. So let's dive in.
A criminal is a criminal, and they generally stay a criminal, and we don't have time to figure it out.
Wow, I'm actually so glad you're all here to share this moment with me. That is actually the first time Donald Trump showed any sense of self-awareness. Congratulations, Donald. It only took you 8 decades.
He has a new insult out this week that her and her husband have been using towards you, calling you weird. Does that hurt your feelings? How do you feel about that?
No, not at all. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Well, if you're a mature person, being told an essential truth about yourself shouldn't hurt your feelings. But Vance, if you're trying to convince people that you're not weird, a little pro tip: don't laugh like that, man. Like, ever.
Yeah, of course, Trey. And I was critical of the president back in 2015 and 2016, and he has looked at me as somebody who can contribute meaningfully to the future of the country, so he asked me to be his running mate. This is not a vengeful guy. The media lies about Donald Trump more than anybody I've ever seen in public life.
Oh, man. Okay. Wow. Not a vengeful guy. Let's start with the first part first. JD Vance referred to Donald as America's Hitler in 2016. And since then, Donald has lived up to the billing. So the only reason for Vance to change his tune, because he didn't change his mind, he just saw an opportunity to get power, is because of that opportunity to, in his mind, become president someday, which is hysterical. Sarah Palin had a better shot of that. But as to the second point, that Donald Trump is not a vengeful man. I mean, JD, you are going to have to learn how to lie better and more convincingly. And maybe more importantly, for whatever tiny shred of credibility you have, just pick different lies to tell, because nobody's going to believe that one. I can talk to you privately about all of the ways in which Donald is vengeful, but something tells me you're going to find that out very soon yourself. Former VP candidate JD Vance. Before I bring up the next clip, it would be great if you guys could click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It just makes sure that you get alerted anytime we drop a new video at Mary Trump Media. Also, click like and share, which really will help us grow. Thank you so much, and on to the next clip.
One more thing I want to say on this, Trey. I think a lot of parents and a lot of non-parents look at our public policy over the last 4 years and ask, how did we get to this place? How did we get to a place where Kamala Harris is calling for an end to the child tax credit?
Well, okay. It is true that many millions of us have been asking, how did we get here? I mean, how the fuck did we get here? But I'm guessing we're asking about something completely different from what JD Vance is asking. Your obsession with childless people is also a little weird. So move on, maybe. And Kamala Harris is not ending the child tax credit, you idiot. I mean, why? Like, in what universe would a Democrat ever take money away from children and families? That's you guys.
She doesn't have to go out there and sell sneakers or Bibles.
No, she does not. One, because she's really fucking cool and she doesn't need to wave shiny objects in front of people. And two, because she's not a grifter. And people are voluntary, people like by the hundreds of thousands are putting money towards her campaign because they believe in her and they believe in her leadership qualities. And they believe that Kamala Harris is the person to lead us out of this dark age we've been living in. So, yes, exactly. She does not need to sell anything, including her soul.
Do you think that having Vice President Kamala Harris as the nominee dramatically changes Donald Trump's odds of winning?
I'm worried about it.
Yes.
I think she's going to go for the minority and female and younger voters.
Progressive.
Everybody's excited about her, and that scares me.
Again, those are Trump voters.
Yeah. White women, be afraid. Be very afraid of somebody who's going to protect the rights of you and your daughters and your granddaughters. That would just suck, wouldn't it? I mean, it's people like that. It's panels like that that make the whole, but not all white women nonsense, not an appropriate response. Let's remember that in both 2016 and in 2020, after Donald Trump revealed himself to be the most dangerous, misogynistic man in modern American political history, and now in 2024, after he's been adjudicated to have sexually assaulted a woman whom he then defamed, white women, a majority of white women, still support him. We have to do much better this time around, okay? Because this is for everything. But it's good to know what people like that are thinking, because we cannot delude ourselves into believing that much has changed in white woman world. So that was, now I'm afraid.
That's the real reason I think she's going to win, is that most Americans already agree with her on the issues that they care about the most, that affect them the most, whether we're talking about choice and her stance on defending a woman's right to choose versus Donald Trump, who eliminated a right to choose in this country.
Well, he sent it back to the states, to be fair.
Let's be very clear. He is proud of the fact that he demolished the national right to choose in this country, period.
But there are states that are figuring this out. I mean, there are some that are, I mean, it's nearly impossible, a 6-week ban or less. But there are others, there are states in this country that allow no restrictions up until the due date of a child.
There was a national right to choose in this country, law of the land, for 50 years, which the vast majority of Americans believed was the right thing to do. But Donald Trump made a promise when he was a candidate, one of the few promises he actually kept, by the way. You know, he didn't keep his promise of 6% economic growth. He didn't keep his promise to drain the swamp.
He did have a pandemic to deal with.
But even before the pandemic, America went into a manufacturing recession, which really hurt places like where I come from in the industrial Midwest. But anyway, my point is, he broke his promise for that kind of economic growth. He broke his promise to pass an infrastructure bill, right? He said he would do that. He failed to do it. The Biden-Harris administration got it done. He even broke his promise to that January 6th mob when he said, I will be at your side when you march down to the Capitol. But he actually did keep two promises. He kept his promise to destroy the right to choose in this country, and he kept his promise on tax cuts for the rich. And if you want to know what a second Trump term would be like, I would start by looking at those rare promises that he actually managed to keep.
He did say that he wanted to get rid of Roe v. Wade, but again, send it to the states where they are hashing this out
empower the states to eliminate women's access to abortion. And also, as you know, the Republican Party continues to be interested in a national abortion ban.
Which he's disavowed completely.
Yeah, he's disavowed a lot of things. I don't believe him. Because he lies all the time.
Yes, there's literally no reason to believe anything Donald Trump says. He has no ideology. He is completely malleable. He will do whatever he is told by the people who keep him in power, because that is all he cares about. Staying in power, staying out of prison, He's had way too much assistance in with that goal, especially from the corrupt, illegitimate supermajority in the Supreme Court. And he is proud of having overturned Roe v. Wade and stripping the rights of tens of millions of American women because that's what his base wanted from him. It will get worse, but pro tip for all Democrats who have an opportunity to speak to the opposition in the way that Pete Buttigieg often does. He's often on Fox News, probably more than any other Democrat. And he does a great job, except if somebody says to you that in Democratic states, the right to choose extends to the due date, you must meet that with the force and the anger it deserves. That's insane. That is wrong. What that woman just said was that in blue states, it's okay to commit infanticide. Come on, man. We cannot let that stand. And also, by saying he left it to the states so it's okay, in Idaho, a 6-week ban just went into effect. Do you have any idea the impact that is going to have on women who, by the way, at 6 weeks, usually don't even know they're pregnant? And do you seriously think that if Donald Trump gets back into office, because of all his enablers, because of all the favors he's going to owe the most egregious misogynistic people in this country, do you seriously think that bans won't become national? Do you seriously think that they're going to let blue states continue to make the decisions about what rights a woman has? No, they will not. So let's get better at this, okay? So I came across this on Twitter. I'd seen it before, but I was happy to see it again because it's a great reminder for those of you who are worried that Donald Trump actually is capable of evolving. There's my great grandpa Friedrich Trumpf, who was an immigrant from Germany, a draft dodger, a brothel keeper, and a pimp. And then there's my grandpa, Fred, who, in addition to being a sociopath, was really racist, a slumlord, and a tax cheat. So we see that Donald has really outdone the 2 generations that preceded him by being also a racist, slumlord, and tax cheat and a draft dodger, but also just climbing to the top by being a grifter, a money launderer, and a traitor. So, hooray. That's it for today. Thanks so much for joining me. We will be back again tomorrow with more clips and analysis. Please hit subscribe before you leave. It's really helping us grow, and it just makes sure you are alerted every time new videos drop on Mary Trump Media, which is basically every day at this point. We have lots of new content coming all the time. And don't forget to like the video and share it with anybody you think would be interested, or with anybody you think it might drive crazy, because that's fun too. Anyway, thanks so much, and we will see you next time. Bye.